This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and is not a solicitation for business. The views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and guests and do not represent the official position of Title I. Now, it's the time you've all been waiting for, the podcast all about real estate. Get ready for another episode of Salt Lake Real Estate Podcast.
We're thrilled to be chatting with Amy Atkinson with Presidio Real Estate. So, Amy, tell us what you love most about working in real estate right now.
Right now in real estate, it's fun again. We get to market. We actually get to enjoy selling a house. And I get to take a buyer through more than one house and make them, they don't have to make a $500,000 decision in 10 seconds.
See that?
I had to do that when I bought.
It's
I
not
hate
fun.
that.
No.
It's not fun. And now it's fun. My listings, I can put on social media. I can advertise. I can actually have an open house. My buyers, I can show them 5 houses in a day and let them sleep on it and make a decision. And we can actually get closing costs again.
It's a full experience.
Full experience.
And the time and the fun, like you said, of really going through it without having to rush. Yeah, I agree. I think this is although it's a unique time, it is kind of fun. I feel like we're going back to those beginning years where you get to sit and watch everything happen instead of just pushing someone through a roller coaster.
It shows my value, shows where I excel. It shows where I can say, I've told a client, this isn't your house. We were under contract on it. We were at the inspection, looking at the inspection report. And he looked at me and he says, would you live in this house? And I says, I says, we have to look at this house for you and what works for you. And he goes, no, would you live in this house? And I looked at him and I says, no. And he says, okay, cancel it. And then the next day we found their house.
About time.
And it was just eye-opening because even him, we had a little bit of a language barrier anyway. And he said that he's never trusted anybody more, even with our language barrier.
How about that?
That's
That's fabulous advice. So is there one piece of advice you find yourself giving over and over to homebuyer?
Yeah, you'll know your house.
You'll know your house.
When you walk into that house, their expression changes. As you're walking, you just sit back and watch them. I had one who remodeled the house as we went through. He would always remodel. And I remember walking out of the house and I looked at him and I says, this is your house. And he goes, what do you mean? And I says, you didn't remodel it.
Interesting.
And he looked at me and he goes, you're right. That's my house.
I like that. I like that a lot. You know your house. And there is something about that too. I know that, the intuitive, you kind of have an intuitive nature when it comes to homes. You walk into something, you just feel this isn't right. And then you walk into another and you just feel like you're home.
Well, we always say that, right? Trust your gut. Your gut's going to tell you.
But it's not only just that. It's the people know when it's the right time, when it's the right place, everything works out. And even the transaction works out. Everything's smooth.
Yeah, I love that. It gave me chills. Because I remember feeling that. You're right. You remember walking in and you're like, it's like a deep breath. And you're like, yeah, this does feel good. Feels right.
So I had a really cute couple. They had 2 houses to sell, 1 to buy. They fell in love with a couple homes really quick. We still had 2 homes to sell. And I kept telling them, it's not your house. It's not your house. We got the first house sold. Second house, we was just getting on the market. They found this home. And I says, it's still not your home. We're not putting an offer on. And we got her home under contract. So now she's kind of in a panic. We found her home, same neighborhood across the street from the home she was in love with. And I says, now it's your home.
And what a bond to have that with your clients too. Because when they see that, you can say you give people value, but when people feel that value from you, when you have that experience with your clients, I think that is just worth more than anything you can give your client.
And you have to kind of watch your client. The first time I take a clients out, I never say a word. I never tell them what I think of the house. I never say anything. Listen, I just walk.
That's cute.
And I write notes. And by the second time, if they haven't found anything that first time, the second time I go out, I'll point a couple of things out that they were looking for in the last one. And then what they've sent me, I'll add a couple of homes that I have found. And usually the homes that I have found are the ones that they didn't look at because they didn't see something.
It's amazing.
Well, is there any trends in the market that excite you right now or concern you? Either one. Any trends?
We have so many weird trends. There's some random ones. White and or the grays going out of style again, which we all knew. We're in Utah. We're a mountain state. We're more earthy tones.
Beiges are coming back.
They are. I'm okay with that. My house is still beige.
Way to stay on trend.
But, we always look at what is in California and the coastal areas, and we know it's coming. We're just not coastal. We're mountain.
We're mountain people.
Right. If they'd
Love
go and
it.
look at, Park City and how they say stay consistent, Park City didn't go real white and gray. I
Very
mean,
true.
I'm sorry, those little cabins don't look good white and gray.
No mountain cabins with a,
Yeah.
splash of white.
They just,
Interesting.
and
Yeah.
if they look at it from that standpoint, that's where we're at.
Is there a misconception or something that you want to clear up that people still need to be educated about?
I think probably the biggest one is interest rates and where they're at. Historically, we're where we're supposed to be. We had a great couple of years of low interest rates, but at the same time, we're where we should be. We need to look at 2-1 buy downs. We need to look at buying your rate down a little bit more. We need to, and we're in the market, we can do that.
Yeah.
That's the biggest misconception is everyone saying, I'm waiting for the rates to drop. They're not going to drop much. You're going to
Yeah.
see maybe a quarter to a half a point, but we're not going to get down below 5s.
Yeah, I agree. I do think a lot of people are thinking that will come and it won't.
I'm introducing a lot of house hacking, more saying,
Great.
okay,
Mhm.
you have an unfinished basement. What if you rent that out? What if you finish it? What can you do with it? You have 2 bedrooms that are unused. Can you put a roommate in it? That's going to be less than what you're paying in rent that you're putting in a mortgage.
What did you learn about your own? I mean, we all think back to when you bought your first house. When was that? A while back.
Yeah.
A while back. So when you think about your own journey, when you bought your first place, what do you think you learned from that you can pass on?
Honestly, I didn't know anything. I was 20 years old. I was single. I had my son, and I just went and walked into a condo, and I'm like, oh, that's cute. Luckily, I knew someone in mortgage, my aunt, and I called her, and I'm like, can I afford this? She goes, I don't know. And I went home and says, oh, by the way, Mom and Dad, I'm moving in 3 weeks. I bought a house.
The interesting thing about that is that you went forward.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Even though you didn't know anything, you did something. Doing something is better than doing nothing.
Correct.
And you know what? My son and I still talk about our little 800 square foot, 2-bedroom, 1-bath condo.
Oh my God.
And it's still he's always like, I can't believe you sold that. I'm like, me neither. I wish I still
I
had it.
have all those fond memories.
It was just nice.
Yeah.
Swimming pool was across the street. We just had fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you need to just take that leap sometimes. I mean, and being able to take that step forward is just like Scott said, doing something. I mean, it's very rare that real estate has been a bad choice. And what's your worst case scenario? Hopefully you sell it if you had to. But taking that leap is just such a huge bonus. I don't think people still understand the value
No.
that it is.
And even looking at, my nieces and nephews, and I've helped a couple of them. And it's just amazing to watch them experience and find their home, and my friends' kids, and looking at our children.
Yeah,
Can they afford it? What are they going to do? How can I help them get into it?
right.
Because homeownership is amazing.
It is. It's
know?
phenomenal. And I think that's what you just need to do and get yourself to the right people and the right team, because there are ways. There really are
Mhm.
ways. People listen. There's so many things you can do. Like you said, there's so many house hackings, roommates, renting out basements. There's so much you can do.
Especially our first-time buyers right now.
Yes.
I mean, there's so many grants, and I'm sorry, right now, new construction is giving you a lot.
Right.
I mean, I know of 2 that are giving interest rates under 5. Yeah.
That's an incentive.
It's an incentive.
Definitely.
Dream big.
Exactly.
And make a move. Do something. Right, Scott?
Right.
Amy, thank you for joining us today and chatting and giving us all your knowledge about real estate. We appreciate having you here.
Well, and to you listeners, thanks for tuning in to the Salt Lake Real Estate Podcast.